weddings are fantastic. So because they are, so I've always loved weddings because they're goofy, right? It's just one day of your life that is not like any other day at all. There's no like, let's do a wedding again. Just have a day like a wedding. Like let's rent out a church and dress up and tell everyone how much we love each other. And we'll dress up our friends that'll be there and we'll sing songs and then they'll give us gifts. There's no other day like a wedding. So they're goofy. Yeah. So already it's fun. And the couple's there in love. Like this is going to be their big day. They've been looking forward to it. So to be a part of that, to be invited into someone's life at what's hopefully the high point, one of the high points is a tremendous blessing. I really got interested in weddings and marriage when I was in Nebraska, and I had there was a young lady that was going to our church. She was in college, and she calls me up out of nowhere and says, "Pastor, I'm engaged." I said, "Oh, it's congratulations. That's great. Can you do my wedding?" "Absolutely. Would love to do your wedding." "Okay. Can you do my wedding on New Year's Eve?" Like, "Oh, that'd be great. Or sorry, on New Year's Day." "Oh, that'd be great. Like New Year, new beginnings. Love it. Would love to spend January 1st doing your wedding." Long pause. "Can you do my wedding in New York City?" Like, tell me more, right? And the tell me more was she and her fiance had applied to be on the 3-season short-lived MTV series Engaged and Underage, and was one of the couples they chose. Underage meaning under 25, so it's not like weird high school stuff. Yeah. But like, and they were in college, and they took couples that had basically the odds stacked against them. And for this couple, it was family dynamics, and they had no money. And so I'd never done a wedding on MTV on January 1st from Times Square in New York. So interesting is better than boring. So you say yes to that. And so MTV flew me out to New York City, put me up in the Millennium Hotel, got to watch the ball drop from my hotel room on New Year's Eve. And then the next day, do their wedding live on MTV. So got to proclaim the gospel and marry this couple. And there was another couple too that didn't have a pastor, did their wedding too. So like 2 weddings.
You did 2 weddings that day, yeah.
2 weddings live on MTV, January 1st, 2009.
Where could, if someone wanted to go watch this, what's the show again?
You would have to look up Engaged and Underage. It was season 3.
Yeah.
Season 3, the show was kind of, if it was ever up here, by season 3 it was down here.
Yeah.
So it is difficult to find video clips of the Engaged and Underage bridal bowl.
Yeah.
But it was a thing.
What was MTV's? So you're a pastor. Not only that, you're a conservative LCMS pastor. What's their interaction with you? So
it was interesting. They came in. So there's a negative interaction and a positive interaction with them. They follow the couples around just to detail their joys, their struggles, from the proposal to I do, right? Mm-hmm. So, and it was coming at a time. It was coming in the middle of the financial crisis. So it was at a time when America, things were, your stocks lost 40%, you're unemployed, your house is worth a third of what it was before. Like, so at a difficult time in our country. And so I was asking the producer, which sounds like a weird thing. I was talking to this MTV producer about, and by the way, I don't know if the average listener knows, back in 2008, 2009, MTV, much bigger deal than it is today. Not as big as it was in the 80s, but it's a legitimate, people are watching, right? So, so they came in to do pre-marriage counseling, and they brought the camera crew with them. Well, you can't do pre-marriage counseling with a camera crew. So we talked about like superficial things that, not confidential stuff. Just what's it like to be engaged? What's love like? Oh yeah, you guys are great. And the camera guy there tried to get me like, you want to talk about her relationship with her mom? And like, no, and don't tell me what to do. Yeah. Right. So had to explain to him that we're not going to do this. That was a negative interaction. But come to find out the positive interaction, there was a time when the camera crew's following him around and there's this big family blow up at a restaurant, like made for TV. Dishes are being slammed down. They're storming out. There's yelling. I mean, you would think this is like good, and they wouldn't show that on. They didn't air that part
for the sake of the integrity of the family. This
would make the family look bad, so we're not going to do it.
Wow, good on them.
So good for them. So I was really like, MTV, got to rethink what we think about them. Yeah. So in that, and the camera guy understood. He's like, I understand why you can't do that, but I thought I'd ask. And like, Okay. But for them to spend the Millennium Hotel at that time on a non-important time of year was $600 a night, cheapest room. So you can imagine what a room would go for at the most expensive time of the year, which for them would be New Year's Eve, because you're right there on Times Square. Plus the airfare, plus all the food voucher, meals, the whole thing. That for them to spend thousands of dollars for this couple to have their pastor come and do a 5-minute wedding service, good on them, right? I was really impressed with. We're just not going to find an LCMS pastor hanging out in New York City, and we'll fly your pastor out, put him up in a hotel. I mean, it was really cool.